overall, really a good, very energetic day. I felt like they're very focused. We're still making a lot of mistakes, and you know, we were obviously on top of that. But overall, very pleased. And you know, today was a great learning day. Going back, looking at last night, trying to get some things corrected, adding some new stuff today. You know, there's a lot of moving parts going on for these guys, but right now, you know, I feel like that was 2 days of productive work.
You get John Sullivan on bye today, is he all right?
Yeah, he's a little nicked up right now, and you know, he's right now we're trying to rest him a little bit, but we feel like he's going to be all right.
So you guys can't go to pads until next week, or what are you going to work on the next couple of days?
Well, you know, tomorrow's a day where we can go in shells, so we'll have shoulder pads and helmets on, and you know, that'll tell us a little bit more, you know, particularly with young guys. But you can do a little bit more when you put the protective gear on. So obviously we can't go, you know, live, you know, tackling and things of that nature. But you can do a little bit more, get a little more physical with some stuff, you know, on both sides of the ball, especially particularly on the offensive and defensive line. So, you know, the next 2 days will be shells, and you know, that'll, again, in the progression, that'll be valuable for us in terms of evaluating guys and you know, seeing where they are when the pads come on. And so that's two very important days of evaluation for us.
Gene, you guys were warming up and did some drills inside today. Just talk about the decision to do that, what you gain out of that.
Well, you know, again, you know, we went a little bit. We went in some yesterday.
Okay.
And we're trying to balance it out. You know, obviously we got to get, you know, used to the heat with our pads on and things of that nature. So we did the opposite yesterday. You know, went outside first and then came inside, flipped it today. Again, just trying to, you know, make sure we can figure out the best mix for our guys in terms of keeping them healthy. And, you know, again, the heat, you know, is an issue, as we know, and we're just trying to be smart about how we practice.
Does having almost all the freshmen on campus all summer sort of help them so they're not real wide-eyed at the start?
I think so. I think there's still an element of, you know, a little bit of the wide-eyed, you know, situation with them, just because when they get out there, you know, it's moving fast and full speed. You know, whether you're in helmets or shorts or whether you're in full pads, it's still somewhat eye-opening for those guys. You know, everybody's as big as they were or bigger in high school, and everybody as fast as they were or faster than they were in high school. So just those two things being said, you know, it's a little bit enlightening for these guys.
Corey Grant's a guy that had, by all accounts, a pretty good spring. Can you kind of talk a little bit about what you've seen out of him these first 2 days? Well,
we love how Corey works. You know, he's a very reliable young man, and he loves football. So, you know, he's one of those tough guys on your team that we're trying to find exactly where he'll fit, you know, and what his roles will be, whether it be offensively or special teams. He's a guy that has an element of skill that he can do, you know, several different things for us. So we're trying to really figure out kind of what that is, and that I mean that everywhere. You know, what special teams he will be effective on. He's very fast. He's very strong. And then obviously at the running back slot, you know, what his best attribute is, you know, carrying the football. So Corey's still developing. You know, he's still a young guy that's got 3 years of football left. So every day he's just, you know, he's trying to improve.
You've got a lot of freshman offensive linemen. Kozan playing guard. Any of the other new guys playing guard right now?
Jordan Diamond's playing some guard. Alex Kozan's playing some guard. Right now, with our offensive line, we're moving some guys around to see exactly what the best fit is. It doesn't mean anybody's particularly locked into a position, but we have to have a starting point for them. So that's where those two are. And a lot of our freshmen are getting some significant reps out there, which is really a good thing. So again, we'll continue to try to you know, move them around, find a spot for them as soon as we can, and get them locked into a spot once we're convinced that that's where they belong.
What are you expecting from Mike Blakely this year? What do you think his role is going to be?
You know, right now we're just trying to figure out at running back, you know, what these guys are capable of doing. You know, you got to look, other than Ontario McCaleb, you've got a lot of question marks there in terms of what they bring to the table. And so Mike's like the rest of them. We're trying to figure out again what's the best what's the best role for him. And, Ontario McCaleb, we feel pretty confident we know what his role is and how productive he's been over 3 years. The other guys, we're still looking at that. And Mike, Mike's one of those guys that's very talented. But a lot of things depend on, how he picks up protections. It's not just him carrying the ball. So, again, we're searching for, where he fits.
You had said that Blakely kind of had an inconsistent spring. It's only been 2 days, but have you been pleased with kind of his approach to fall camp and what he's kind of done to enter this time period?
Yeah, I think that, I'm speaking about the last 2 days. So, again, there's an asterisk there. But for the first 2 days, there's no question that he's come in with a better frame of mind and a better sense of urgency, in my opinion, than he did in the spring.
Coach Chizik, does Ricardo Lewis have the potential to help you guys out as a defense?
It's really hard to say, Brian. I think they all have the potential to. Again, I think that's where the learning process comes in. How fast do they pick it up? How fast do they get a comfort level with playing their position? So he's definitely skill-wise talented enough. I don't think anybody would question that. It's going to be a matter of how fast he picks everything up. Like the rest of them, really.
You talked about Sean Coleman yesterday and just being cleared of everything. Obviously, that's great news. But this fall, can he challenge for that job, or is this just the next step in acclimation for him?
I don't ever want to say that somebody can't challenge for a job. And we certainly don't have solidified places all along our offensive line, as we all know. So, he's certainly going to be one of those guys in the mix that we're going to look at real close to see, if he can fit that bill or not. He is still, getting acclimated to playing football again, as we know. I think it takes you a while to kind of get back in the groove, especially at that position. There's so many things you have to learn, on the offensive line, both in the run game and pass protection. So he's a work in progress, and he's continuing to prove. It's baby steps for him, but he loves the game. Again, like I said yesterday, I'm just proud he's out there and having a chance to run around and compete, and he's loving it. I mean, he's loving that opportunity. So, again, he'll have the same chance everybody else does to earn a spot.